Hello, I'm Jodie O'Brien, part of the SheepConnect SA team. Today, our 10-minute talk is with Dorothy Crosby, counsellor with Rural Aid, who's going to discuss managing your stress.
Hello, my name's Dorothy Crosby and I'm one of the counsellors with Rural Aid. I live in Quorn in the mid-north of South Australia, and I travel around to visit farmers at Farmgate to provide counselling and wellbeing services to farmers in that area. I also provide counselling to farmers across Australia as needed if people don't need the Farmgate. So today I'm wanting to talk to you a little bit about stress and correspondingly well-being, how we manage that stress in our life. When we think about stress, we often think it's a bad thing. And we hear people saying, oh, I'm so stressed and feeling overwhelmed. Farmers, as we know, cope with more stressful situations in a day than possibly any other profession in the world. And I don't need to list all of those, numerous different things that can trigger stress, especially with environmental and economic challenges that you have to face. Whether the header's working, whether your workers turn up, all sorts of things that can trigger or contribute to your stress. So I'm not here to sort of tell you how to handle that. I'm here to sort of say stress is actually a good thing. We need a certain amount of stress to help us get up and be motivated to do the day. So think of a day when you felt very productive and you have got what you needed done, and how good that felt. Even me coming to do the talk today, there's a certain amount of energy. I needed a certain amount of stress to be able to do this talk. However, what we don't want is for that stress to slip over into the too much stress, which is often where farmers like yourself are in. Not because you want to get there, but just because of the relentless ongoing tasks that you have to do and the inability to sort of be able to switch off because those problems are your problems. There's a law called the Yerkes-Dodson law, which says that a certain amount of stress to a certain point helps us be productive. But once we get over that line, it's then very negative. And we know the impact of stress on our body in terms of our heart rate going up, cortisol, all of those things that can be very damaging in the long term. And some of you watching might actually be experiencing stress at the moment. So correspondingly, I want to introduce you to well-being. Now don't eye roll. I know well-being is a bit of a buzzword and everybody's rolling it out. But well-being is actually not something that is a when we've got time for it. It's something that we need to incorporate in our everyday life. So often when we have reached over that limit in our stress, we say, don't ask me, I haven't got any time. But this is something that we need to make time for. We need to bring into our everyday life some life medicines. These are unique things that help our day feel good. So for me, I like to swim, I like swimming laps, I like reading books, and I like drinking cups of tea. Those would be an example of life medicines. Some of you, it might be playing footy with your mates or cricket. It might be having a barbecue. It might be watching a YouTube video or a series on TV. Any of those things, you can think about them after you've watched this clip. What things are things that you like to do to spend time with? Now, I know farmers don't make time for these life medicines, but when we're under stress and our stress signature, I call it a signature because we all have unique ways. So how you and I respond when we're under stress is really different. So your stress signature is the way that stress is expressed for you. So the people close to you probably know how you manifest stress in your life. You might get really crabby and grumpy with them. You might get short-tempered and intolerant. You might withdraw, go inside yourself like I mentioned before. You might not want to hang out with friends, and those are evidence that the stress has got too much for you and you are now in, if you like, survival mode. So these life medicines that I'm inviting you to try are ways to actually keep that stress level down by doing something that's pleasurable and lovely for you. You help your heart rate go down, you help give perspective. The problems don't go away, but your ability to manage them do. And we want to be in this productive, stressful place, not in the overwhelmed, stressful place. Imagine a wheel with spokes in it. If we took some of those spokes, if they were broken, the wheel doesn't run as well. So to run a wheel in a good straight line, we need all the spokes. Our well-being is like that. And I want you to think about them in different compartments of your life. So we've got personal relationships, your families, maybe your girlfriend or your wife, your children, grandchildren. I'm thinking of your psychological health, how you manage your emotions, how you deal when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling a strong feeling, what you do, whether you slam your fist down on the table or slam the door or go off in a sulk. That's your psychological health. Your biological needs, your diet and your sleep. Do you go to bed at a reasonable time? Do you lie in bed stressing, or do you go to sleep straight away? Do you eat healthily? Now, working out, that's a whole other webinar about health of nutrition, but actually just having low salt, unprocessed, healthy vegetables and eating snacks, protein, carb and vegetables in our diet is going to help us do well as well. The other thing is exercise. Now, you all spend a lot of time doing a lot of physical tasks out on your farm, but that's not necessarily aerobic exercise. We need to be incorporating exercise which gets our heart rate up, not just a physical lugging. So it might be that you do some stretching. It might be that you go swimming. It might be that you go for a 15-minute walk. A 15-minute walk a day, just around with no purpose, not to go and feed the chickens, not to go and check on stock. It's just going to be such a helpful thing for your mental well-being. GPs, if people are feeling low in their mood, just advise a 15-minute walk a day because the endorphins are released and it helps us just feel a bit better about the day. So that's just a small thing that you can do. And as I said, not while you're on the way to a job. You might walk kilometres in a day doing jobs. You might do an awful lot of physical aerobic exercise, lugging hay, attaching bits onto tractors and things like that. But you need to have some sort of exercise that's really about keeping your body strong. So incorporating that. So another important thing is your values. What gets you out of bed in the day? What is the thing that matters? Your farm, of course, matters, but what else matters in your life? When did you last have a holiday? And why have you not had a holiday? What's getting in the way of that, and what needs to happen to help? All of these things, these components of the well-being wheel, all contribute to make a really holistic life and help you keep on the farm, enjoying what you're doing, avoiding burnout, avoiding getting over that line. I hope some of these tips have been helpful for you, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you are in need of some more support from Rural Aid. We have counsellors all across Australia, so please reach out if you need. Thank you.
Thanks, Dorothy, for sharing your experience and professional knowledge on managing stress. This 10-minute talk was filmed on location at the Reading Room Gawler Cultural Heritage Centre. Thank you to the town of Gawler. This 10-minute talk was made possible through funding from Australian Wool Innovation, Department of Primary Industries and Regions, and the South Australian Sheep Industry Fund.